Hello everyone, I am reaching you here in my bed in maximum comfort. Actually, no, while we're at it, I got a few books in here to show you, but let's put the blanket on while we're at it. I have a monster headache, so I was gonna do this video from my car today, but that didn't work out. So instead, we're gonna do it in a nice comfy robe my fiance, I almost said fiance, my fiance got me for Christmas. So I'm here to tell you my top 5 and bottom 5 books that I read in 2021. Not published in 2021. I don't know how people read that many books that come out in 2021. I always get so behind on new releases. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So, books that I read in 2021. The top 5 best, bottom 5 worst. All right, we're going to alternate. And then like from 5 to 1 because that's the most fun. So we'll start off with my 5th most favorite book of the year. And that is Bad Blood. Hold on, I forget. By John Carreyrou. This is about Elizabeth Holmes, I think her name is, which she just got like committed. Not acquitted. What is it called? Convicted. She just got convicted of like all the shit that went down in this book. So, this book is it's nonfiction. Never would I thought I would have so many nonfiction. I have 2 nonfiction in my top 5. That is unheard of. But it's about this woman who basically swindled all of the world into investing in her company, and she claimed that she could make like this machine that, like, say you were chronically ill, or I guess maybe elderly would be a better way to talk about it. Like, if you were somebody who went to the doctor a lot and needed your blood tested a lot, it was a device that allowed you to do that in your own home. So it was like this revolutionary device, except it was all fake. So she basically fooled everybody. And it's just about, the book is about all of that, and, you know, like all the people that worked for the company and how they were like, what the heck's going on? And just the downfall of it. And it is juicy. Like, it's a dense book, but I flew through it. Like, I was captivated. I had to know what happened. So highly recommend. And there's also a documentary, but I didn't like the documentary as much. But it was interesting to watch after I read the book, but I didn't like it as much. So yeah. The 5th worst book I read this year was Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen. I don't get it, y'all. Everybody and their mom loves this book. I couldn't give a shit about it. It was so boring to me. It was one of the first books I read this year, and I was bored to tears. Like, it was just like any other fantasy, and it was fantasy, but it wasn't like, it was just otherworld. Like, there was no magic or anything. I don't know. I was just bored to tears. I didn't like the characters. The end was stupid. There's a sequel, but I don't care. Like, I don't know if it just wasn't for me, but I was just bored. So bored. My 4th best, I have this one with me. Is Gilded by Marissa Meyer. My writing group buddy, JR, just bought this for me for our Secret Santa. So, yay! My sister also has a copy. So there's 2 copies in our house right now. But I'm excited because when I move out, I can take this with me. This is about a girl. It's a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. That's all you really need to know. Retelling Rumpelstiltskin. The setting, spectacular. The story and characters, I loved it so much. The plot twist, I guessed, but I loved it. Like, I was worried it was going to be one of those that I guessed, and I was so excited it was going to happen, and then it didn't happen, but it did. I guessed the twist, and I was right, and it's a good twist. I loved it. I gave this book 5 stars, but I would understand why people wouldn't like it as much as I did, because the pacing is jack. Like, it is, I think Marissa Meyer wanted so badly to fit it into that format of like 3 nights with Rumpelstiltskin, you know, because it's like 3 different times that she promises him shit, that the pacing was just wackadoodle. But besides that, I loved it. Also, this cover, if you look really closely, you can see eyes, except my phone is just reflecting back. It's an infinite loop of my phone in this video and me. But yeah, you can see the eyes. See? It's a little creepy. But yeah, I'm so excited for the sequel. I'm glad it's only a duology instead of 4 books, like the Lunar Chronicles. And yeah, it's super exciting because I never read the Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer, so this is like my first step into something that's not Lunar Chronicles, and it was great. I loved it. 5 out of 5. I mean, obviously, all of my top 5 are 5 out of 5 stars. That is a dumb thing I said. Number 4, worst is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I don't get it. Everybody loves this damn book. I don't fucking get it. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Like, just the most 2004, maybe not 2004, 2009 young adult dystopian cringe. Except it came out in like 2015. Like, it was bad. Like, the plot, the way the book starts. I mean, this book is about, everybody knows what this book is about. It's like red bloods and silver bloods, and the silver bloods have powers, and the red bloods are treated like shit. Yeah, you know the drill. And our main character is a red blood, but like, and then she finds out she has powers, blah, blah, blah. But like the way, and like rebellion, because there's always rebellion, right? The way this bitch like finds out she has powers is so convoluted. Like, it's so clear that the plot is set up to make her find out she has, it's so forced. That's what I'm trying to say. It's literally so forced. The romance is, like, I couldn't stand it. I don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. It wasn't good. I will say, if people out there tell me that the sequels are better, I believe them, because the way this book ended was the only redeeming thing for me. Like, the ending, I was a little bit like, huh, interesting. Like, I was a little interested. I was a little intrigued. But that's it. So, like, if it gets better, sweet, but I have no interest. So, yeah. All right. And I never even wanted to read Red Queen. I kind of read it to do, like, a fun rant review. So that's, like, it's not the book's fault that I knew I would hate it, and then I hated it. You know what I mean? So, take that with a grain of salt. The third best book of the year is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I've already talked about this book a lot. It's about this lady. I'll link the vlog where I talk about it above, but it's about this girl who, in this world, magical world, it's like some Victorian or Elizabethan era. I don't know. I'm not that good with history, but not our time. And it's a magical world where she works at this library where the books like come to life, like magical books, and they like can come alive, and they're crazy and bad. So she has to like protect the world from them. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this. And then I actually forget the series. Oh, it's like her library gets attacked or something, and she gets run out of there, and I forget exactly what goes down to make her leave the library. But she runs into this magician called Nathaniel, who's this like really powerful magician, and like they're trying to figure out who is destroying these libraries. We go from there. I love this book. I'm trying to think of something I haven't already said about it. I really liked our focus on Elizabeth as a character throughout the entire book instead of just like the romance, though I did love the romance. I love Nathaniel. I love Nathaniel's relationship with the demon butler, whose name I'm forgetting. I think it's Silas. It doesn't say. I think it's Silas, pretty sure. I love that relationship so much. That's kind of what boosted this to 5 stars. It was a 4-star for most of the book, and then like some stuff went down at the end, and I was like, I'm so emo. It was so good. The more time passes, the more I love this book. I think I might even like it more than An Enchantment of Ravens, which is her debut. I'm very excited to read Vespertine. I know there's no romance in that one, which is a bummer because I love romance, but the way she writes characters, I can't imagine not enjoying it. Oh, I just sent that book all the way down to my toes. Oopsies. All right, third worst book of the year, Beauty of the Beast by Rachel Demeter. Oh, Rachel, is that a C or an L I wrote? No, a C. I don't know. Her name will be on the screen. So this is an indie book. And listen, I'm not about to throw shade on indie books because my book is going to be, it was an indie book and is going to be republished as an indie book. So, like, I have no ground to stand on. But this just feels like no editing happened. No editing happened. Literally the most cringy, horrible thing. I like barely remember. I mean, obviously it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is why I picked it up. But it's been like wiped from my memory. Like, I don't even remember. I just remember it was so cringy. The romance made me want to gag, which is not good. I also vlogged this experience, so I'll put that up here. yeah, and that video was such a fail because I didn't like any of the books I read in it, really. So, yeah, oops. That book sucked. It was bad. Number 2 book of the year is The Anthropocene, reviewed by John Green. Oh my god. I listened to this audiobook in literally one day. It was so flipping good. I hope John Green writes a nonfiction from here on out, because while I do enjoy his fiction, I also don't enjoy some of his fiction. But this was absolutely incredible. Like, if you're a podcast fan, I feel like this is like your shit. Like the audiobook is narrated by John Green, and it's just, you feel like, I felt like I was in the most fun class of my life. Like, I learned so much stuff. I learned so much about John Green and about the human experience. I cry literally like every 4 seconds reading this book. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, just the way he talks about the human experience, I was like weepy every 4 seconds. It was so good. I love this. It's I haven't even gone into it, but it's what it's about. But it's a series of essays basically about the human experience, and like John Green is like reviewing things that he's come across in his life. Like, what's some examples? Like, let me get in here. God. All right, like, he reviews the song You'll Never Walk Alone. He reviews teddy bears. He reviews Penguins in Madagascar, the movie. Like, just all this random shit, but it is so good. I loved it. Everyone should read this. I'm going to reread it because the physical copy has footnotes, and obviously the audio version cannot have footnotes. And the audio version has like a few extra essays. So they're trying to make you buy both because, you know, business. But I got the audiobook from the library, so fooled you. Anyway, that was The Bomb Diggity. I loved that book. My number 2 worst is Bunny by Mona Awad. Books and Lala, I picked this up because of you. And she didn't let me down because I love Kayla, but this book let me down. The first half, I was actually very intrigued, very interested. It's about this girl at a college, and this like group of girls called the Bunnies, and they're kind of like cultish. And the first half of the book is the main character, Samantha, being very interested in joining this group of girls. And that part was so compelling. And then, like, in the middle of the book, we take, like, a total 180 flip-flop, and nothing makes sense. And I know it's not supposed to make sense, but literally, it was just nonsense, and there was no point. Like, there was no point to me reading this. And then there's a twist at the end that was so dumb. I just don't understand why everyone be out here giving this 5 stars. It don't make no sense. I did not like it. I don't know why. I should have just DNF'd it, but I powered through and I shouldn't have. Okay, here we are at my favorite book of the year, and it is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I had a video where I talked about this, but I scrapped it, so sorry, but I loved this book. It is about it's like multi-generational. It's about 2 women who are Black, but they're light-skinned. So they're from my understanding, it was like, it's like if you're born and you're like an 8th Black or something. So you're not Black because you're like mostly white. But back in like, this book takes place like the 50s to the 80s, I want to say. And back then, and I think this is a fiction story, but it's based in fact. There was like this town where a bunch of people who were categorized as African American, even though they looked white, lived in this town. And it's about these twins and their children, and how like they run away from home when they're young, and about them growing up, and about their children. And oh my god, it was so good. Like, so many great discussions, so many, like, one of the twins' daughters dates a trans boy, so lots of discussions about that, because when she's dating him, it's the 80s, so like just about being trans in the 80s. And oh my god, it was so flipping good. I loved everything about this book. Like, I don't know, usually I'm not a literary bitch, but like literary book bitch, but this was the shit. Like, I loved it. I thought it was so compelling. I was like turning page. I was so interested to know about all the family members and like where all of their lives went, and it was compelling. It was so freaking good. Yeah, 5 stars. Best book of the year. Britt Bennett only has one other book out, I believe. It's called like The Mothers. I definitely want to check it out because that Vanishing Half slapped so hard. It was so good. The worst book of the year, spiciest, the most tea for last, is Library of the Dead by, oh my god, it's like T.L. Hachu or something. I also loved this experience. I freaking hated this book. I'm gonna have to look up reviews because I cannot be alone. This book made 0 sense. It's about this girl who like sends ghosts, or like she like makes money by like setting up meetings between ghosts and like their family members. But this story just goes like freaking off the rails. It's really like kind of gross and like gross humor and like all this like I feel like there was no plot. Like nothing makes sense. I could not get invested because there was no central story. Like the library that the book is named after is literally in it for like 5 minutes. I feel like I just hated all the characters. Nobody was enjoyable. It was definitely my least favorite book of the year. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, what did I read? What is this? Like, I can't even explain it. I can't even articulate it into words. This is my little towel is falling off my head. Let me take it off. It was not good. And that is the long and the short of it. So this is a super long video. I was not intending to make this 18 minutes long, but hopefully I can shorten it a bit. Now, those are my top and bottom 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great, relaxing evening. Bye.